All right, we here now. We got another episode of The Shot. This is episode 3. I'm Moedotj. Hey, first off, salute to the notification gang. If you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, hit your notification so you get something every time I upload. You'll be part of the notification gang. Like I said, I'm Moedotj. I'm not gonna hold y'all up. I'm on my grind to 2,000 subscribers, so every subscriber counts. But you know me, let's jump right into it. This is episode 3 of The Shot. Alright, so if you remember at the end of the last episode, Kev and the crew, they pulled up on Nuke's house because they think this is where Keisha is at. They get to the doorstep, Nuke opens up the door, and Kev's like, hey man, I'm looking for my sister. And he's like, hey little nigga, you gotta get up out of here, man. This ain't what you want. And Kev, like I told you, man, he loved his sister. So he's like, man, I don't care what you do. You ain't the first dude to pull a gun on me. I'm looking for my sister. I'm not leaving here without. So the dude cocks the gun, he puts it to his face. And then, old Papa, we already know, he said he can't fight. So he's like, hey, man, we need to get up out of here, kid. And Jake's like, hey, yeah, man, we made a mistake, man. We ain't supposed to be here. So he pretty much tells us to get out of here. And Kev was like, all right, well, I'm going to catch you later, then. I'm going to see you. As he driving off, Nuke looks at him. He's like, hey, man, I give you that. You a brave kid, man. I give you that. But don't come back around here. So, like I said, man, when it's your sibling, your sister, you like, man, I got to do what I can do to get her back. And Kev, I give the boy credit, man. He did that, even with Papa peeing on himself. Like, he was at the doorstep ready to tussle. He want to fight, he want to tussle. You know what I'm saying? So everybody looking for Keisha. They got everybody on the block passing out flyers. Emmett out there, Keisha's mom out there, and they just looking for her. So they pretty much going door to door, and they just asking people, have you seen this lady? Have you seen her? They stopping whoever's on the street jogging, because that's what you're supposed to do when someone misses. You got to get out in these streets, because let's be honest, man. Unless it's like a white girl missing, the cops ain't about to help out no black folk looking for no little black girl that's missing. We got to do all the damn work ourselves. So they out on the block. They putting in work. And as she's walking off, a lady stops her. And she's like, okay, is your daughter missing? Okay. And then she kind of recognizes, she's like, Tracy. Turns out Tracy's son was killed. So Tracy has an organization called ROC. You know what I'm saying? Remember our children or something like that. But it's pretty much for everything in Chicago. Like any mothers that have remembering our Chicago kids, that's what they were calling it. But anyone that has like a kid that's killed or missing, all the murders, they come together and they put in efforts to, you know, saying trying to find the kids or trying to find who the murderer was. So she's pretty much telling her like, hey, you know, your daughter's missing, come hear us out, and we're going to try to do our best to, you know, help you find your daughter, because she is a child of Chicago. And like I said, the cops ain't gonna help her, so they pretty much got to do it all on their own. So she thinking about it, she's giving it a, you know, saying a thought like, if somebody's gonna help you try to find your daughter, you gotta roll with it, man. Kev and Jake, they end up skipping school. They go meet up with big bro Trig, you know what I'm saying? So they hop up in the G-Wagon, you know what I'm saying, clean. And they pretty much ask them like, hey bro, you know what I'm saying, can you help me find, you know what I'm saying, Kev's sister? So Trig's like, what's his name? He tells him the name, and then he's like, I don't know him. Any on 63rd? Any dude with a name like Nuke, he's up to no good, man. And I only put my life on the line for family members. So Jake's pretty much like, Kev is family, you know what I'm saying? He's like a brother to me since you haven't been around, and Reg is dead. So it's like, man, all I got is Kev. So he's like, all right, man. And then Trig girl is like, yeah, you should probably help him. And he's like, man, I don't know about this, man. We got to go do all this, put my life on the line. I ain't really with that. So Kev is just like, hey, man, if you ain't going to help me, I'll go find somebody else that will help me. So he kind of like, man, Jake's considering this dude a brother. And Jake even tells Kev, like, hey, he's going to do this because he's trying to get back in my good graces. So he's going to go look out for you. So Trig eventually agrees, and he tells him, man, get y'all butts back in school, man. Ain't no reason for y'all to be out here. Y'all be safe too. Don't worry about it. Give me 24 hours. I'll handle it. So it's cool. Trig gonna actually, you know, saying, well, we'll see if he's gonna look out for him. We ain't for sure. So Emmy and my bae Tiffany, hey Tiffany, they pull up on Mama Jada. You know what I'm saying? They pretty much like, hey man, we gotta try to convince her to let us live with them because they lost their apartment and they trying to save up to move in. So they give her a story, and then Jada asks, so where y'all plan on moving to? You know what I'm saying? I don't want y'all staying here for longer than a year, just a couple of months. They both give the wrong place. They didn't have their story together. So one person say we going to place A, Tiffany says place B, and she's like, all right, look, y'all can stay here, but it can't be for no year, maybe a couple months. But y'all gotta obey my rules. 20-minute showers, no yelling in the morning because I gotta get my sleep, no smoking weed and no selling weed out the house. So they pretty much like, bad. This is, you know what I'm saying? This is easy. We could move here and we could live here like this. My whole thing is like, Emmett trying to get his little, you know what I'm saying, his little catering company, food company up off the ground. Tiffany selling big weed, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to be living like that. Bring you and the kids, Tiffany. Y'all come live with me. I'm gonna show you a different life. Like, you come in here, you can do the reactions with me to your own show, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for you. But nah, so Jada's like, yeah, y'all can live here, but you gotta follow my rules. I don't think they're gonna be able to make it too long in that house following the rules, because they always, well, Tiffany always smoking. So we gonna see. Like I say, the boys, they go back into school, and you know, they go into a little history class and they watching it. And Kev and Jake, they in there talking, and they just going back and forth, just talking, you know, just yapping, being like, you know what I'm saying, boys in school. And the teacher's like, Kev, sum up what this show is about that we watching. Pretty much he didn't know it. So there's another black girl in the class, and she goes ahead, she breaks it all the way down, like philosophical. She knew everything that was going on. And Kev is looking like, dang, she's smart. The teacher's pretty much like, hey, we're gonna pick up where we left off tomorrow, but make sure y'all read. So they get in the hallway, Jake and Kev, they at the locker. And Jake's like, man, Kev, you like old girl, huh? Kev like, nah, it ain't nothing like that. He like, why you got cologne on? Kev's like, man, it's called soap. So old girl, she pulls up on him. And you can already tell how this is gonna go. So her and Jake, they start clashing. Like, y'all need to do better. Jake like, who you talking to? She like, you, Ashley. Kev steps in, and she's pretty much telling them like, hey man, look, it's not too many black folk around here. So man, if y'all looking bad, it's gonna make all of us look bad, man. I don't want it to be like that, but that's how it is. So Kev's like, I'm not Kev. Jake is like, man, fuck these white people, man. I ain't trying to impress them. And Kev's like, all right, cool. So you can tell Kev he's feeling her, and before she leaves, she looks at Kev like, you know, you're a king, you should act like one and not a peasant. So Kev, he like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, somebody feeling me at the school? It's on now, you know what I'm saying? Jake like, man, F her, bro. Let's get up out of here, man. So Emmett's at work, and guess who decides to pull up on him? Dominique, aka Lala. And you already know, Emmett told her, hey man, don't pull up to the shop unless it's after hours, man. Like, you can't be coming up here. So pretty much Sonny's like, hey man, you can't be having people come up here, because Dominique, she's over here telling him, man, your chicken is good, but if you do this to it, it'd be better. And he's pretty much like, hey man, I've been cooking since before all y'all were born, man. You can't tell me how to cook. All y'all youngsters, all y'all trying to do is always tell somebody, you know what I'm saying, like, this is good, but let me make it better. Like, you don't need to make everything better. Everybody loves my barbecue because it's my barbecue. So Emmett, he comes out there, he's getting mad. He's telling him, he's like, hey man, you can't come up here. I told you that, man. He don't know we're using, you know what I'm saying? We're using the kitchen after he's gone. And they start getting all close. And she's like, he tells her, let me run this. And she's like, I thought we was running this together. So they started getting closer. I'm like, okay, Emmett about to kiss her. That's gonna open up Tiffany for me, but they don't. But they getting close, and you can tell it's gonna be kind of a little vibe there. I think he gonna slip up, and him and Dominique, they gonna get together. But she was like, we running this as a partnership. He's like, I know. And then she goes on to say, I ain't like all these other hoes you used to. And Emmett has a little slick reply like, you don't know what I'm used to. So, hey man, we gonna see how this turns out. So it turns out Trig is a man of his word. So him and Imani, they go up to Nuke's house on 63rd. They kick it in, you know what I'm saying? They pull the Toolies out on the Glizzy gang, you know what I'm saying? Like my boy Trill. They bust up in the house, and they pretty much tie everybody up. And then they asked the leader of the house, like, hey man, we here, we looking for some girls. And he's like, man, it's a lot of girls here. He was like, nah, we just looking for one. So he tells them, all right, y'all can go look upstairs while he tied up. So he's sitting there like, so they go upstairs, and it's just girls everywhere. And they're just asking some of the girls that are like drugged out, like, have you seen this girl? And they pretty much like, if she's here, she ain't here against her will. So Imani starts kicking in doors, and she's seeing dudes smashing chicks that are like drugged out, but none of them are Keisha. So she gets mad. She goes in one door and she just like kicks it in and just pistol with the dude that's smashing the chick. And Imani's like upset with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, what they doing in there is wrong, man. It's just sex trafficking, man. All this is pimping these kids out, man. So Trig grabs her and is like, hey, man, you can't be on that, man. We here for one thing and one thing only. Let's stay focused. So long story short, they go in there, they check all the rooms. They don't find Keisha. So it was like, dang, Keisha ain't there. So where could she be, man? So that X is off Nuke, which I didn't think she was going to be over there anyway. But I don't know where she's going to be at, man. Comment below where you think she is since she ain't at Nuke's house. So Nina and Dre, they were convinced to go to Trisha's rock meeting, but it didn't go as planned. So when they get there, they're talking about they're going to have a vigil the next night for any kids that have been killed or that are missing that just recently happened. So everyone's in there and they're like, man, this isn't no search party. We can't be going out here looking for a girl named Keisha. Like, no, that's not what this is for. But Trish is like, hey, man, this is my group. We're going to do things the way I want, and I want them at the vigil, and we're going to use Keisha's name. Everyone's going to know who Keisha is because, like I said, the cops aren't going to do anything for anybody black, especially in Chicago. So we're going to have to do it on our own. So we're going to push Keisha out there in front of them. But some other parents were like, nah, we seen your daughter's pictures online. She tried to talk to my son, and she has some racy photos. I mean, she has photos up there on a Finstagram. Pretty much a Finstagram. It's just like Instagram, but it's a fake account. So they talking about that they're like naked and, you know what I'm saying, just in bikini and stuff. And Nina's like, nah, that ain't, you know what I'm saying, that ain't my daughter. I got her Instagram and everything. They were like, yeah, well, you need to go find this out. And if these pictures come out, then they're going to be looking at our organization like, nah, we're not helping them. So Drake gets mad, was like, your son wasn't no saint. Your son, when he got killed, he had just stole some shoes. So Trish is like, hey, everyone calm down. Our kids don't have to be saints. We here to protect them. So it's my organization. This is what we're going to do. We're going to put Keisha's name out there tomorrow. So that's what the plan is. That's what we do. So business is booming at Sony. You know what I'm saying? Emmett and Dominique, they got it jumping, man. Long line. It's just Dominique back there cooking her. That's the only downside. So they got a long line. Everybody's pulling up. They taking orders. And one guy's getting mad like, hey, man, it shouldn't take this long for me to be able to get my order. And he's like, all right, my bad, man, my bad. Here you go. So the next guy comes up and he orders. Like, as soon as he says 3 slabs of ribs, I'm like, hey, bro, we ain't gonna be able to take that order. 3 slabs of ribs, we ain't even got that much food back there. But he tells him 3 slabs of ribs, coleslaw, and a bucket of macaroni and cheese. Now, do you know how long it's gonna take to make all of this? 3 slabs of ribs, let alone a bucket of macaroni. Dog, you're gonna be here for at least an hour, 2 hours. So Emma's like, what do you got, a football team? He's like, actually, I do. So he goes in the back and he tells Dominique, hey, you gotta hurry up, man. She's like, look, I'm only working as fast as I can. It's just me by myself. If we're gonna be having these big orders, you're gonna have to get me help. So he's like, man, we ain't got no budget for that. She's like, well, then they just gonna have to wait. You know what I'm saying? So Emma's like, man, the business is, hey, we doing good, we succeeding. She's like, nah, we ain't succeeding if people have to wait an hour and a half for their food. So he's like, all right, you handle the food tonight. I'm gonna get us some help. So I don't know who he's gonna get to help, but he's gonna have to probably be Tiffany and maybe Miss Jada. I don't know, man. We gonna see. I called it. They wasn't gonna last long in Jada's house. The first thing we hear in the morning, Jada said, y'all gotta be quiet in the morning. These two are arguing about who's gonna take Emmett Jr. to school. Emmett just got home from work. You know, he working that after shift with Dominique. Work. But he's like, man, all right, my bad, man. I just got home, man. I'm supposed to take her to daycare. Jada comes out like, hey, man, y'all ain't gonna be having all this yelling up in here. And they're like, man, our bad. And Tiffany's pretty much just giving her the rundown like, man, every time I tell him to do something, he doesn't do it and you help him out. So this is what's making him lazy like this. And you need to take some of the blame. Jada's like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? But y'all make up and y'all go on about your days. So they do that and they kiss. And I keep telling Tiffany she deserves better. I'm here for her, but that's a different story. So Emmett and Jada, they start talking and she tells Emmett, like, I know you and Keisha used to mess around. You've been scrolling on her pictures. So if you know anything about like her Instagram or like a Finsta account, let me know. So he's like, all right. So he writes down her Finsta account. He gives it to Jada. Jada goes and takes it to Nina and Dre, and they actually look at it, and it's just, you know what I'm saying, she ain't naked in none of them, so it ain't raunchy like people say it was. It's just in, you know what I'm saying, the normal underwear, maybe a bikini and stuff, showing a little cleavage and stuff. I can say this because she's 18, so, but it ain't nothing bad, but it's pretty much like Nina didn't know this side of her, and her and Dre get into it, and she's like, Dre, this is my daughter, you wouldn't understand. And Dre's like, hey, I'm just gonna leave here and let you have your time. But there's a subtle hint in the Finsta. You hear Keisha say, if I ever get married, I'm not having a wedding. I'm just gonna elope. So maybe she's not missing. She just went somewhere to elope with a guy. I'm taking that as a hint. I don't know about y'all, but I would take that definitely as a hint. If she put that in her story on her Finsta right after the mom's wedding. Could be one theory. K and J pull up on Trig because he's trying to find out the information about his sister. They pull up on Trig and they like, hey man, did you see her? And Trig's like, nah man, she ain't there. And Kev's like, man, did you check every room? Trig telling him, hey man, I pulled a gun on this dude. If he knew anything, he would have told me. So he's pretty much like, hey man, she ain't there. And Kev's like, nah, we gotta go back. And Trig's like, listen to me, little man. She ain't there, man. And if I know Chicago, she been gone for 7 days. Either some dude caught her slipping, you know what I'm saying, or a pimp that got to her. But she belongs to the streets now, like not in the sense of like she getting down with everybody, but as Chicago owns her, like she belongs to Chicago now from all the previous stuff that they know. So Kev is just like, man, dang. But I mean, Trig tried everything he could, so he's pretty much like, hey man, I did what I said I was gonna do. I told you give me 24 hours. So we still don't know where Keisha is, and like I said, man, I think she may have just went and got eloped. We gonna see. So now we got a little change of events here. Now we got everybody in love. You know what I'm saying? Trig and Imani, they all hugged up. You even got Papa out there with his mamacita. So, you know, he doing his thing. And then Miss Jada met a young man. Well, I won't say a young man. She met a man at work. And it all started off as, you know what I'm saying? Let me take you out to eat. I apologize for what happened earlier, but I'm not taking you out to eat like as a date, just to get to know you. So Jada agrees to it. So shoot, he came and picked her up from work. You know what I'm saying? They about to go do their thing. Like I said, Papa doing his thing. But for Kev, it ain't too much love for him. So he's sitting in his room. He's down at this point because he'd already exhausted all his options. He went over to Nuke's house. He had Trig go over there, and they didn't find his sister. So for him, it's like, man, I don't know what's going on, man. I'm confused. It's just a tough time for him, man. But he got old girl at school. I know he ain't thinking about girls right now. He's trying to find out where his sister is, but it's still the question. Where's Keisha? Where's Keisha? So the night of the vigil happens, and this is what gets interesting here. So Nina's up there talking, and she's pretty much just saying, you know, as any other teenager, my daughter thought she knew everything, but she has a lot to learn. None of us were perfect when we were growing up. You know, I had her. I wasn't perfect when I had her, but I thought I could be here to protect her. And everyone's just listening, and you see Ronnie out there. But Ronnie looks over to the side, and there's a guy, a white man, kind of bald-headed with a beard. He's in the crowd, but he's looking, you know what I'm saying, a little weird, like he ain't supposed to be here. So Ronnie starts to follow him. The guy's moving through the crowd and he runs off, but Ronnie was chasing after him. Now, he jumps into some kind of vehicle or he just disappears. They don't show us. It just shows Ronnie looking after he was trying to catch him. While everyone's in the vigil, no one noticed him except for Ronnie, and Ronnie was chasing him. So this guy could be another suspect, but we're going to have to wait till next week to find that out. And that is episode 3 of The Chi. All right, like I said, that's episode 3 of The Chi. We're going to be here next week for episode 4. Same time, man. We always doing it. I hope everyone enjoyed their 4th of July. But I need you to comment below. Do you think Keisha eloped or this white guy may be the suspect? Let me know what you think below. Hey, thanks again for watching. Like I said, I'm on that grind of 2,000 subscribers. So every subscriber counts, and I deeply appreciate it. So if you can, hit the subscribe button. Turn on your notifications, like, comment, share, and we'll be here next week. I'm Moedotj. Thank you for watching. I'm out.
Emmy on the beat, boy.